got too many hoes, but they ain't you. You like to put that shit in your nose, but I still love you. Be doing shit that nobody knows.
Aslan yükle diyor. Sıkıntı değil. Yeah. Nala. Okay. Booze. So here's things I wish I knew before I quit my job. See, everybody tells you how exciting it is to quit your job and pursue your own venture, but nobody tells you the things that might blindside you the day after. For context, this isn't about glorifying quitting your job. This is about wishing someone was there, whispering in my ear the things that I have painfully learned throughout my journey.
So, picture this. The resignation letter is signed. The handshake with your boss, walking out those doors for the last time. The high of resigning. Then the emptiness the next day. No structure, no boss checking in, no team meetings, no buzzing office energy. Just silence and uncertainty. Here's what they don't tell you about freedom. People expect you to be living your best life. You must be so happy, they say. All that time to yourself. But sometimes it feels like isolation. Here's the lesson I learned the hard way. You must create your own structure, or your days will eat you alive. The venture that you're chasing, it needs more than passion. It needs discipline. It needs routine. It needs you to be the boss you once resented. Freedom isn't the absence of structure. It's the power to build your
They
own.
be thinking you a lady, but at home
You motherfucking porn star, I swear to God.
if you ain't nasty, don't at me.
You see, we've all been fed a lie, and money isn't really what you think. See, the myth that we've all been fed, including myself, is that once you quit your job, you already are equal to more money, meaning you are at a position of higher value, but that's simply not the case. And the reality of this situation is that the first few months of you resigning that job that you hated so much, those first few months are pure survival. They're not freedom. This is you figuring out your feet. This is knowing which direction to step without a position of authority above you, telling you what time to clock in, telling you how much money you get paid, telling you what you need to do for your job. This all is figured out by yourself, and this is all part of the survival process. I don't know. Was that all right? Yeah, that's my thoughts. So now, when I quit my job, I had 2 clients paying me around $5,000 a month, and this was great. It was absolutely, I was ecstatic. I was spending money, I was making money, and that lasted a couple months. You don't realize the unexpected expenses, right? You don't realize the delayed payments that can happen through these clients. You also don't take into consideration is that what happens if these clients don't want to work with you anymore? Now that's exactly what happened to me. And the lesson I learned from this is to build a buffer. Now, what do I mean by buffer? A buffer is a period, or you could call it the rainy day fund. Now, I know you probably heard this from your parents, from your teacher, and you go, yeah, this is garbage. To an extent, yes, it is. But if you were going into this life of entrepreneurship, of I'm my own man, of you're your own woman, you absolutely need a quote unquote rainy day fund. That leads me on to kind of the final point of this first section, which is cash flow does not mean profit. Cash flow does not mean you can go spend. Cash flow does not mean freedom.
Alright, let's be real here. Nobody cares as much as you do. Now, let that sink in. It's not meant to be discouraging, it's just reality. You see, at your job, deadlines matter because there's accountability. But once you quit, no one really checks in, except maybe your mom asking if you're eating. See, clients, partners, even friends don't carry your urgency. And the lesson to take away from this is you're your own motivator and your own accountability system.
Okay, so the next chapter is nobody cares as much as you do. And then the chapter after that, which is going to flip back to me, which is the identity shift. So let's talk about the shift in your identity that happens from day one of working for yourself. Whether as a freelancer, agency owner, whether as a contractor. And that is, the job that you used to work gave you that social proof. It gave you the title, it gave you the routine, it gave you the social validation from others. That moment when you quit, you strip that all away. The question you ask yourself at that point is, who are you without that validation? Who are you without the title? And I think that once you figure that out, that's the moment you have freedom. Not the money. As tacky as it sounds, it's finding yourself, finding who you are, what your purpose is in this world, why you do what you do. The moment you realized you weren't just an assistant manager anymore, or you weren't just some bartender like I was, it's just you against the world. And I also want to add to this, right? It's not always you against the world, and find people that are on the same journey as you. They don't have to have the same career, they don't have to have the same lifestyle once at the end of the line, but they need to be ambitious. They need to be people that push you 24/7. They need to go, listen, you're being a lazy prick, get up and let's go. And I think that's super important, because this builds your identity, and identity must be rebuilt around people and not your position, not the social proof, but around the people that build you to help build yourself.
Clarity. With no safety net, you figure out what you actually care about. Growth. When you're forced to pick up skills your old job never demanded. Control. You finally get to architect your life, even if it's messy at first. And the lesson? The fear doesn't disappear, ever. But you learn to function with it.
Don't at me. I've been working all day. I like to run the streets this dark out and then come home, blow your back out. I hope that's okay. I can't.
Closing response. Okay. So yeah, everyone told me that, quitting your job was freedom. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. And something I wish people did tell me is that freedom comes with a lot of weight, a lot of responsibility, a lot of self-accountability that often many are not ready for. And as much as we lie to ourselves and we say, yes, I can be responsible, I can be disciplined, I can be accountable. Can you really? Can you work 16-hour days for 2 weeks in a row until 5 a.m. in the morning and wake up at 7 and do it all again? Can you not say no to that party that 3 of the hot chicks invited you to? Can you say no to that? Can you say no to the extra beer? Can you say no to a pool night with your boys? Can you say no to your family? Can you say no to your mother who wants to have you over for his family roast? Not to say that you need to be a stubborn asshole and that you can't do anything not to say you need to be a stubborn asshole, or not.
Did the mic die? Oh, bro. So yes, not to say that you need to be a stubborn asshole, but you do need to have some level of selfishness if you want to be successful in this game, especially for periods at a time. There are moments where you have to lock yourself away in a room, where you have to work your 16-hour days. But there are also times where you are allowed to have freedom because you've worked your ass off. I think that's the misconception about quitting your job in the first place. That's what I misconceptualized. Was I thought I would be able to work 3-4 hours a day for the rest of my life and have insane amounts of money, insane amounts of time to do the things I love, to do whatever I wanted. But fortunately, an emphasis on the word fortunately, is that life is better this way, because you have a fine balance between play, having fun, enjoying your life, and building purpose. And I know this as a man. I am a man. I can only say my point of view as a man. As a man, purpose is what drives us. Purpose is what gives us meaning. And I highly suggest that you mentally prepare yourself for the amount of work that is required of you to actually build this life. So not to scare you or anything, but it is going to take longer than you think, and it is going to be harder than you think. But it is going to be so much more worth it than you think as well. So with that being said, this is the close to the video. This was quite different to what I usually do from outside of the educational content. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this, the style. Let me know if you want more like this. And I truly hope that you took something away from this that will help you with whatever position you're in right now. I think this can apply to someone that is thinking about quitting their job, or someone that has already quit their job. and maybe there's some lessons that I've learned in there that are speaking directly to you. Anyway, guys, peace.